Hello everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner. Got some knives here to show you. Another knife video to make. And it's the Faulkner 5 budget version. If you haven't seen the other video I did last week, I'm doing my Faulkner 5 like I did last year before Blade Show, Atlanta. And I decided to kind of expand it a little bit. I am going to do the Faulkner 5 that I did before, which is like the top 5 carryable knives. It's not really necessarily my favorite knives, but as far as carrying, what is it? What is a knife that I want to, or I'm willing to carry every day? And I know some people have knives that carry every single day, always the same knife. But for me, I tend to rotate through, so it's a little more challenging for me in my personal knife journey, or whatever you want to call it, to get to that point where I can carry it for a week. But also, I do get a benefit of really getting to know that knife. So we talked about this before. Just kind of wanted to recap slightly. I got 15 here in front of me, and the category was based on $50 or less. I got an announcement related to that. I found out this week. So I'll start off with that. This week, last week I was going through all these, and I was talking about this knife here, which is the Asher Knives Nomad 3.0. I was talking about, wow, how is it that this thing is in this category with M390 steel and just the quality and everything else related to it. On my, I have like a spreadsheet I make with the prices, and that's how I kind of determined what was in the under $50 range. And when I had looked through to try to put prices onto that spreadsheet, I had looked on Asher's website, and what I had actually looked at was a factory second. So they did have a factory second that was exactly $50. I put that down on, without paying attention to that, I put that down on my spreadsheet, and it ended up on this list. But now, when I was doing a little more research on it, trying to figure out how the heck is this M390 knife that price, I did find out that, yeah, these are actually $90. So that kind of puts it out, disqualifies it. It's all my fault, you know, but those kind of things happen. So that kind of helped in a way, because now I don't have to worry about picking or not picking this knife. So it is off to the side for sure. Down to 14 knives. I'm gonna weed it down some this week, but I'm not gonna get all the way down to the 5. Probably, but basically what I'm doing is getting down to 10 this week. So what I did this week to help me do that is I started carrying some of these knives, especially the ones that are a little bit more questionable. Already in my head, I kind of have a 5 that I think probably will make it, but I'm not saying for sure. I'm still giving it some time, giving myself time to think, because the ones in that in-between realm right now are still great knives, and it's kind of like, don't feel good about disqualifying them. But in life, that's the way things happen, right? I mean, when you're in school picking for the soccer team on at recess or whatever, or PE, you pick. You know, that's the way it's always been done. Maybe it's not done that way anymore. I don't know. But when I was growing up, you pick, and then there's always that kid that got picked last, and there's this whole thing about it. You know, in reality, it's just part of life. I think we kind of tried to remove some of that. I don't think there's any shame, personally, but, you know, I know some people feel like some people are being treated badly, and I feel kind of the same way when I'm picking these knives. I mean, I like all these knives. I picked these out of all of my under $50 knives, and there's a lot that already got disqualified. So yeah, so I went and carried the ones that I wasn't sure about this week, and I kind of have gone ahead and said, okay, I got to make some cuts. We're gonna make some cuts. They're good knives, but also this is really my opinion, and it's my experience. I'm carrying, I'm using the knives, doing what I do with knives, and judging them based on overall carryability, maybe is the word. I don't know. So let's start. Let's see. This one here. This is the Finn Wolf. It's the only cold steel here. Cold Steel has great knives. I really like Cold Steel knives. They have a place in my collection, and many of the knives that aren't necessarily overall knives are still good in a lot of ways. And this one is an exceptional work knife. If I'm going to do something, especially with a Scandi grind, you know, Scandi is really good with wood-related things. That's not something I do tend to whittle a little bit on my breaks at work. Just kind of, it's like a mental relaxation for me. But, you know, I'm not doing anything serious. This one would definitely be good for camping and things like that. I wish I was camping all the time, but I have a job. I gotta work. So anyhow, I gotta try not to justify too hard with all this stuff because I feel bad. You know, it's emotional. I don't know. Me and my collection, and probably a lot of you feel the same way. You kind of have an emotional connection in some way or another with all your knives. This one actually won from Apex Alchemy, Billy and Courtney. And so it's kind of special in that way. Probably will never leave my collection because of that. Because there are those connections that I have to certain knives. So anyway, Finn Wolf's out. That's number 2 for this week. Going to the side. Sad to say, but it's the way it is. The next one on the list, this guy here. This one is the G5 Metamorph from Real Steel. And this knife kind of serves a purpose in that it's more of a gent carry for me. Very slim, long and thin. Great for that aspect. There's certain times when you have a cutting task that you really need something that's thin. I've had things like that where I've come across and said, I can't just use some big knife, some big thick knife. Maybe I need to get into something and kind of cut around, and the smaller knife is going to work really well for that. And it's not like a heavy duty thing, but this is a lightweight knife, as most gent knives are. It's pretty thin in the steel. It's got really good action, but it is kind of light. Kind of the overall feel of it is kind of light. The one thing I've really noticed about it is this liner lock is really thin, and it works. I mean, I'm not gonna go doing the spine whack test with it or anything like that, and it probably would hold up pretty well. It's got like a 50%-ish lockup on there. It'd probably be okay with it, but it just feels kind of thin. And there's that emotional context with knives, especially as my tastes have grown and my prices that I spend have grown. A solid knife is really important to me, and so the feel is going to have an aspect of it. The way the G10 is cut, it's got great texture, but it's a bit sharp on the corners, so the finish on it is not necessarily the best. Jimping on it is really good here. It feels good in hands because it's full size for the hand. I mean, lots of good things, but like I say, we got to cut something. This is just a little bit thin and light and kind of less solid for me, so it's going to the side. Next, Pilar. Another one that's got a lot of emotional connection because of the fact that this one was given to me as a gift from my girlfriend's sister. It's a little marked up. Yeah, I've carried it quite a bit. I've carried this one in the fifth pocket quite a bit. Fifth pocket's kind of like a niche thing for me. I did a video a while back on fifth pocket knives, and I have quite a few. But it's not something that I'm going to spend a lot of money on, and it's not that high level of picking up the knife and just going, wow, that is just a great knife. I mean, not that a small knife can't be like that, but this one, the action is not that great. It's running on Teflon washers, I believe. Tried to tune it, you know, so it's maybe got a little bit of play here, but to be able to get it to open and close, short knife, it is relatively thick for such a short knife. Set that marking on it. It's been used and abused a little bit. I do love the copper, and it's patining and it's scratched up, but I like that. I think it's kind of cool. And this is a steel back, almost looks like a titanium. It's got that look. I like that look. I like the way they mill this out and stuff like that. It feels good in the hand. It does have the finish. It's got the kind of rounded off edges, but the action on it is it's more of a slow roll type of knife. It's a small knife with a great finger choil up in front. Doesn't leave you a lot of cutting edge, but it definitely gives you a good grip, which is, to me, is probably more important than a big cutting edge. I do like both of those features in a knife, but if I was going to choose one, I'm going to really want to have it something that I can hold in my hand. Threw on the lanyard just because it just really looks nice with it. I'm not a big lanyard guy, obviously. Nothing else here has a lanyard, but you know, I try to mix it up. Pilar is over to the side. And my last one for the cut this week is the Rat 1. Solid, great knife. Actually, very solid. You can hear it when you open it up. This is kind of similar to the Finn Wolf in that it is a very solid knife, which I like, but it also is something more. I'm gonna hard use. I'm gonna use it for something where I'm not worried about. I never really feel like I have to worry about scratching these knives up. I'm not going to actively go and try to scratch them up, and they are well built, so it's really going to handle the wear pretty well. Action's not as good on this one. It does flick out well. Closing's a little bit slow. Not a super big deal. Definitely have the real estate in the handle. It's a thin, slicey knife. Really thin, but yeah, got to make those cuts. And this guy's a beloved knife. I just bought it when the Ontario Knife Company was sold. I kind of thought, oh man, I really want a piece of what they were. So when I heard that they were getting sold, that's when I picked this one up. Great knife. It's moving over to the side. So here we are. We're down to 10. Running through it. Now, I did carry some of these this week. I did carry the Backlash. And that's one. I did carry the Watuga, the Beluga. Just a coincidence that those two rhyme and are next to each other. I did carry the Roach, the Serene, not the KU-122. Didn't carry that one. I did carry the Feldspar. I didn't carry what's this big monster called again? The Proponent. And I didn't carry the Moral. So I'll be carrying those this week, thinking about them. Like I say, I kind of have it set up to what my top 5 is and what's not, but it may change this week, so I'm not going to really go into that. I am working towards a giveaway coming up. I got 600 coming up. Rather than dragging it out like I did last time, because it surprised me. Right now it's moving at the pace it normally moves, but you never know. It seems like there's kind of hills and dales on subscriber counts. But this Serene is such a really cool knife, and I was thinking about, well, what knife can I buy? Now this is mine. I'm not giving this one away. I really like it a lot. But I decided that the Serene, I'm going to get the blacked out version. At least that's the plan right now, unless things changed. All blacked out, looks really cool. It's a really great knife. I know it's a budget knife. I know it's under $50, but yeah, I think it's a good one for anybody's collection. I like it in my collection, even though I'm a little bit more selective than maybe I used to be. But I do still like budget knives. So I'm going to be picking up one of those for the giveaway. I got a few other things in that whole thing. We'll get more into it as we get closer. Haven't looked this week, but I know I was like within 20 last time I looked. So that could take a while, or it could happen in a few days. It's just the way it is. But I'm kind of planning ahead this time. Before Yeah, it's getting a little bit long. I guess a lot of people don't mind the long ones, and obviously, if it gets too long, you just stop watching. A lot of times people don't watch all the way through. But the end of this video, I'm kind of dedicating it a little bit to some of the conversations that I've seen on some YouTube. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how widespread it is. I just keep hearing little pieces here and there in channels that I watch. I love, and I'm subbed. I don't know. I haven't counted recent, but it's got to be over 100 channels. So many. I do like to support channels with subs. Sometimes I don't get around to watching them. Working full-time job, and trying to do my own channel. So anyway, I saw little bits and pieces, and I just want to throw out my opinion. Totally my opinion, just like everybody else. I mean, everybody's got their opinion. Just like this is my opinion. The subject matter, and like I say, I haven't searched it out trying to find out every little nuance of what people are talking about, but it had to do with the way channels run, and whether or not they're looking to get money or get free knives as part of their channel, and pushing that agenda of enriching themselves while they're putting their channel together. And I was kind of dancing around a little bit because I don't want to get deep into it. I really am open-minded about things. At least I try to be. I try not to be judgmental because we all have our different opinions. I believe very, very strongly that opinions are everybody's right. They should be able to have it. I don't believe in trying to impose my opinion, and I don't like to see other people trying to impose their opinion on other people. But sharing opinions is a good thing, and we should all be able to share our opinions freely without getting mad at each other, without like saying, "Oh, I'm right and you're wrong," that kind of thing. So coming from that point of view, I just want everybody to know it's just that I'm not trying to say that I'm judging one person or not. I'm really just kind of saying that I love the community. I love so many channels. A lot of them I don't get to the lives. I don't get to comment so much. I always try to hit the like and watch as many videos as I can. But I do love the community in general. I love all different types of channels. Obviously, there's a lot of different channels that do different things. You got the ones that are showing the latest knives, and it has an advertising feel to it. And I think that's where some of the judgment comes down, where people are getting knives and therefore they are not able to be honest about their opinion of the knife, and they're just trying to sell it to you, and therefore you can't trust what they say. So I think that's part of the opinion thing. And there's channels like mine where I don't really actively go and ask you to sub or like or anything like that. I'm just kind of doing it because it's fun for me. And I like to talk to people in the chat, or in the comments. Obviously, I don't do lives or anything, but I like to hear back from people, and I just enjoy it. And I enjoy collecting knives, and it's a passion, and I like to share it. And so I'm not trying to make a business out of this. I'm never really, if I were to make money on it, it's not really what I care about. But if I were, I don't know that I'd ever get to the point where I'm running it like a business. I hope that makes sense. But at the same time, I work for a company. It's a business. We got to make money. We have to do things to make money. And you're going to promote yourself. You have a marketing department. And, you're trying to promote. You're trying to make money. You're going to, for us, we went from a privately held company where the owner had a passion for what we did, and there really wasn't the same kind of pressure. Now we were sold to a corporate that's publicly held, so now we got stockholders and things like that. And all of a sudden, we're in this whole mode where it's about reporting, profits, and you got to report profits. And then after you report profits, and you have to, make those profits. And then there's all these little things they're picking on you about. And it feels like you're just running on a rat wheel sometimes, just trying to please somebody. But, business is business. You got to make money. I try not to let that get to me. So basically what I'm saying is I really feel like the people that are out there running their channels like a business, I have full respect for them, because I know that's a lot of work. And I just don't want to do that stress in my channel right now. It could change, who knows? But the fact that I don't doesn't make me turn around and say, oh, well, if you do that, then, you're selling out or whatever. I think that there's probably some out there that kind of are a little bit more in that direction. I'm definitely not going to name any names, but I still recognize the fact that they're working hard. They're working hard to make their channel, to grow their channel. That's a big focus for some people. Other people, yeah, I mean, it grows. I kind of like to watch it grow. I like to see the channel grow, but I'm not so, I'm not going to stop and quit because it's not growing or anything like that. Not saying that I know of anybody who's doing that, but just an example. So yeah, I mean, and if a knife channel is able to get free knives, I personally feel like they're earning it in some way. These companies are not going to just give them out. Now, whether or not they're, what you want to call shilling for this knife company or not, that could be a business model. That could be something that people do, and that's how they measure their success. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you watch any, commercial TV or anything like that, you're going to see commercials all the damn time, all day long. It's part of our society. We're very commercial. We're very consumer driven. It's just the way it is. And obviously, in any community, there's going to be some aspect of that. But I don't see it. I don't say, "God, these guys are just, yeah." Sometimes I say this commercial is ridiculous. What the hell is this? But they're going to do what sells. And so as long as people are buying, they're going to go and sell in a certain way. That's the reality. Kind of like some knife companies that sell things really expensive and seem like it's overpriced. I say if they're still making that money, they're going to keep doing it. If the market and the consumers say, hey, this is too much, I'm not going to buy it, obviously they're going to either go out of business or they're going to change their pricing. So this is all kind of vague, but I just want to say that I appreciate different types of channels. I'm going to be the way I want to be. Everybody else can be the way they want to be. I can watch or not watch. And I just have a lot of respect for these channels. I support channels. At one point, somebody kind of made it out as if I'm trying to buy favor from a channel because I'm giving money. And it wasn't necessarily pointed directly at me, but it's kind of more of a you're one of them sort of things. And I don't like that whole you're one of them, you're one of us, one of them, type things. Obviously there are cliques and when I say cliques, like groups of people that kind of have like-minded things, but we're all different. Everybody's different. Doesn't matter if you're within a group and trying to be more like a group, or you just happen to be like that, so that's why you're in that group. We're all different. It doesn't matter. So everybody needs to be judged on their own merit. Everybody has the ability and the right to judge, but at the same time, I don't think it's right to try to impose your opinions on other people. You can express them to them. You can try to persuade them that your opinion is correct, but don't try to go out there and make everybody. And I'm not. And again, I'm like treading lightly because I really don't want to make this look like I'm trying to point fingers at anybody. Don't see much of that. It's just my opinion on life, and so if you didn't want to see it, you probably turned off this video already because it's going long. But that's it. That's where I'm coming from this morning, Saturday morning. Hope Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will see you on the next one.